need to go to San Diego anymore. I'll make it at home. It is so good. All you need is like lavender syrup, like the kind that you get off Amazon. It's the same brand that they use at Starbucks, like the Starbucks branded syrups, and
Yeah.
then just lemonade. And then mix it together, put that in, put the champagne in, and you have a lavender lemonade mimosa.
I hope everybody was taking notes. Everyone, keep
Even
your recipe.
after, like, it's not like the meeting closes in an hour and we're just done. Like the hour, I mean, it takes hours. I think it's usually like 4 hours for a women's meeting, and then after that, it's not done. So I know a lot of people get this image in their heads that we just all like sit down and just haha, and we easily rank things, and then that's it. But it's not. Like we do try to take it very seriously, but things still do fall through the
It's just
cracks.
crazy how things change, you know? And then I believe, well, then the women, then that same year is when the women's revolution started, because that summer is when Stephanie brought not Paige, Charlotte, Becky, and Sasha to the main roster. It's just crazy how that like just word led up from there, you know.
Time for Quill.
Yeah, he can go up against -1, make it happen.
Well,
But
Quill and Roe could be a tag team.
there you go. I love it.
I'm in.
Good idea.
Book it.
Yes.
Someone write it up. Definitely one of the best parts. Raw was actually really good this week. They've been putting on some good shows past few weeks, which makes me happy because Raw last year was like a chore to watch a lot of the time. So now we're getting good Raw. If you've seen the movie, or like even promotions for it, you know the kind of mask I'm talking about. And then so like that kind of plays, but you can't really understand it because it's super distorted. And then there's a door on the entrance ramp.
Yes.
It opens, blue light. Shout out to Brody Lee. And out walks this man in a mask with a lantern. Crowd erupts.
Yeah.
And then the man takes off the mask.
Yes.
It is Bray Wyatt, as we all have been predicting and praying to God it actually was him. And that was one of the loudest pops I have ever heard on a pay-per-view show, anything.
Yeah.
And the camera couldn't even pick up what he said. And I think it might have been Top Dollar quote tweeted that. And he was like, the mics on those cameras are designed to pick up anything they say. And the fact that it couldn't pick that up, that's how fucking loud it was in there.
My mom signed me up for this 5K. Our neighbors across the street, one of the kids had a brain tumor and he lived in a convalescent home. He was like 10 years older than me. I've known him my whole life. So they were having a 5K money raising thing. I didn't want to do it. I wasn't going to do it. My mom signed me up for it and made me go with her, and I dragged ass the entire time because I didn't want to fucking do it until I realized that I was the very last person in this 5K right in front of the cop just creeping, and I'm like, well, this is fucking embarrassing. So I had knee surgery like the year before, right? Jesus. So I was like, I'm gonna just start fucking limping, and then the cop's gonna ask me, are you okay? And then I'm gonna ask for a ride. So that's what I did. And that's what happened.
And it said, I saw something that said a quote. It was like, biting people bad, and everyone immediately was like, oh, Daniel Garcia definitely said that. The whole shebang.
Nicked out.
The whole shebang. Savannah definitely stepped up her game this year. I stepped my game down. But that's okay.
Katie's got places to be, okay? Like I don't got anything.
Katie's got places to be this weekend or next year for part 3. I can't wait for this. What would be the title of it and why?
That is very simple. As I said, the rack lives rent free in Matt Ritter's head, literally and figuratively. Mm-hmm. So the title of the book, if the rack were to write an autobiography, would be Looking Through the Windows of Matt's Hole.
I'm sorry, I'm confusing you.
No, it's fine. I'm slowly losing power on my
thing. Shit. Oh,
hello, welcome to the first installment of Storytime with Katie Kinsey. Baby. Because, like, there was no way it was going to be all this hype between her and Britt, and she was going to be like, nah, just kidding. I'm not cleared, so we can't do anything. You know?
Yeah, no, it was building up to something, but it's still getting the news, just knowing now, like, she is cleared. So not only, because, like, there's a difference between, like, oh, I'm cleared for at least one match, as opposed to I'm cleared, you know, I can do a match and then some, you know?
I want someone one day to reach out to us and say, like, hey, you know, do y'all have any sort of availability? Because I want to be on y'all show. Something like that, because I know that I'm doing something right and someone enjoys what I'm doing. So that's the main thing that I want to say to everybody. It's just be yourself. You know, don't try to be someone that you're not, because in the end, it's not going to be a good thing.
No, that's 100% right.
The only reason why I'm saying it's not going to happen is because people have been speculating Mercedes coming to AEW for ages now, and it still hasn't happened. I don't think this time is going to be any different. I could maybe see Thunder Rosa coming back after the women's championship.
We gave her the Portillos. Like, who are we looking at? Who are we looking at?
Like,
You're like,
that
dude, I just got here.
I was like, I literally just got here. And then when we did Getting Off, you were just like, oh yeah, Katie likes a guy who makes her laugh. I'm just like, where the fuck did this come from?
But wait a minute, hold on. But to be fair, you did say that.
I did, but you just randomly brought it up, like, out of nowhere. There was zero context behind it.
It was always Private Party, like, that would, like, be there, that would cause Nick to say, I'm dead ass, and then the Thunder, and they would pretend to, like, fall over and stuff. Shit like that was really funny.
And then Matt would be like, A, and then
exactly. Exactly. So I miss stuff like that. So hopefully we'll get that again soon.
Are you sure you're saying that right?
Oh, I'm sorry, Matt. How do you say it?
Well, I was just checking my notes, and I have under news, Kyrie wins ICUP strongest uterus title.
It comes off, especially when you do what we do. Like, you can tell in people's voices and on camera when they're not being themselves or when they're not totally comfortable with what they're saying. Like, and that was the main thing with me. I think why it didn't really, why I was able to kind of jump right in, because like I was already doing the MJB stuff and everything. So like I was comfortable being myself on camera, and I think that that's why podcasting kind of came not easy, but like it was easy for me to do because I'd already been doing something like it. So it's like, and I learned very early on, if you're not being authentic to the words that are coming out of your mouth, people can tell.
I thought this match was good, but here's the thing. I think we can both agree, and a lot of us could agree. This and the Elite match should have been flipped. Like, this match should have been the second match, and then the Elite match. Imagine how much anticipation, Emily. Like, like the second to last match is the Elite. We've been waiting all night, basically, for the return. And then everything that happened that at Full Gear happens then. You know, that would have been like...
Yeah.
Like...
That would have been 10 times more magical in my opinion.
I have no take on that yet until Regal says something.
Exactly, and I'm just thinking, like, really, you really think this is gonna happen just because Max turned his back on him? Like, what if this is gonna play a role into something else? Maybe Regal's gonna be the reason why he loses the title whenever that time comes, you know? Maybe. He's the reason why he won it.
For hoping and wishing and praying. That's 1,000% on me. But Bayley did pick up the win in that first triple threat match, which, by the way, both triple threat... No, I'm sorry. So both triple threat matches on Raw and the triple threat on NXT, all the women, triple threats. Let's fucking go. Because of how it's shot in WWE, I'm going Scarlet.
Okay. Oh, true. Because the entrance is always in.
They're black. They're black and white, but that's black and white.
It comes out gray.
Exactly.
It comes out.
Feliz Navidad. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Christmas. Merry Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa. Welcome.
Whatever you celebrate, it is the holiday season.
The holiday season. This is the first ever ShElite Awards. Round of applause.
Yes.
Round of applause.
One.
I know. I think about it every time Darby comes on screen. I'm like, because I have the song on Spotify. Yes.
Could we also kind of like make it a two-parter? So like wrestlers we can't stand that have like great entrance music, and then the opposite, like wrestlers we really like, but their entrance music could be better.
So,
You
Oh,
know?
100%.
I have two. I have Novak and I have Alex.
Okay.
Casey and Alex. That's it. Like, well, I mean, I do like. Okay, I did like. What's his name? What's his name?
Barba.
Because
Yes.
they're already kind of feuding with the Guns in AEW because the Guns attacked them after the double dog collar match. But yeah, they just really weren't defending their belts that they had in non-US promotions, and they really only started defending them a couple months ago when they like defended them at Royal Quest against Aussie Open. So I'm happy that just clean slate is the best way to word
I
this.
started my week.
How did you start your week, Katie? Oh shit! The red hair. These other products that Warner Bros. Produces that have so much far worse shit going on now.
Ezra Miller.
And they allow it.
Ezra Miller, point blank,
Your
period.
video will most likely have a higher chance of going viral if you have specific big keywords in there.
Jesus.
So everyone just overlapping each other. But I'm telling you, there's videos you can watch that tells you this stuff, articles that will tell you can read. It's time consuming, but this is where it comes down to: are you doing your podcast? Not you, but I'm saying in general.
Yeah.
Are you doing your podcast for fun, or are you doing it to create a future for yourself in this industry where you could be profitable and make it into a business and become Chris Van Vliet or Renee Paquette doing what you're doing?
Cena versus Stone Cold versus The Rock.
That's already happened.
That listen, we can't. We already have the best freaking WrestleMania package with My Way. We can't do it again. It'd just be disrespectful. And then Triple H is like, "Aren't you Jamaican?
Where the hell did your accent go?" And I'm like, Kofi's face said it all.
Yeah, I know. It needs work. I'm no actor. I'm no actress. I did my best. That's all that matters. Oh well.
I mean, the thing is, Eddie Guerrero was amazing in the ring, and it was so nice to see when his big break came, like around between the 2003, 2004 to 5 time, before we sadly lost him, but like to have that where he won the world championship, and you can see how much he's inspired so many people, because there are so many people that are huge Eddie Guerrero fans that grew up around that era. And to do the lie, cheat, and steal method was just hilarious. He would calm the referees every time, so I'm not surprised he's a
side of the ramp. None of them did, sadly.
Okay.
So,
Jesus wants to know if you danced to Jamie Heater's theme.
No, I was too busy recording and taking pictures. So, kick, Katie. This dude, like his kicks, you literally just hear them ringing in the entire
so we can
arena.
have a kickoff.
Yes, between him and Malachi, exactly.
A kickoff.
That's
sports.
He loves building, obsessed with like space and cars, and just he's all over the place. But yeah, Minecraft is his jam. He had a Minecraft birthday party, of course. But yeah, obsessed with Minecraft. I don't get it. Like, I don't understand. Like, I don't know what to do. Is it The Sims? Is it not The Sims? Like, what am I doing? Love The Sims.
Sims is March 6th. WWE Monday Night Raw will be in Boston. And you know who's got to show up to Boston. It's my personal goat. The true champ in my heart and soul. John Cena, of course, is going to show up. Now, the real speculation begins. Will John Cena challenge Austin Theory for the United States Championship?
The Ass Boys, which, by the way, for being called the Ass Boys, they certainly don't have any.
Just flat.
Katie, I'm not kidding, I had the ramp seats. You know, you see a lot of ass when from when they enter. The Ass Boys don't have any.
I was talking to TC and Reek from Young Kings Wrestling. I was on their show, and they were talking about how they got their tickets for SummerSlam, and it's going to be so cool. And I was like, oh, I've never been to Vegas. I think that'd be awesome. And they're like, well, just, like, buy a ticket and go. And in my head, and, like, kind of at the time, I was like, I don't really think I can swing that money-wise. cut to a week later, I buy it. Do you have anything you have planned the next like month or so that you want people to check out?
As of right now, nothing in the works. Uh, it will just be as I'm just going with the flow of things. Whoever reaches out to me reaches out to me, and then there are a few shows that I'm doing graphics for the months of March and April, so I have that. But as of other projects that I'm working on for me or for my portfolio, it's nothing yet.
Yesterday, Wednesday, March 8th, was International Women's Day. Shout out to the women.
Yep.
And we are in Women's History Month. So it's only fitting that we kind of just, briefly talk about some women's wrestlers from growing up, who inspired us, ones that we love or who inspire us now. And then we'll do a few women's wrestlers who we think will be like the future of wrestling and help inspire another generation younger than me and the child over here. And Brie, no longer Bellas. No.
No.
They will now be known as the Garcia twins. Now
I know, right? I'm like, what? I was like,
Savannah?
What?
Are these your sisters?
Right? I guess so, apparently.
Congrats!
Thanks. I didn't even know that until whenever it was announced.
Earlier this week, the ladies announced on their social medias, and they changed all of their social medias to then say, like, Nicole Garcia Dane, or Brianna, or I don't know if she put Brianna or Brie. It's terrible, but we doing it, We're all trying our best, right?
But when I'm so drained and I just need a moment to like just escape from reality, I just watch. There's other YouTubers too. Like it depends, but like a lot of the times I find myself just watching an episode of Bing Dealey, like a segment, a bit, really quick, and it just kind of just the little laughs I can get from these people shows me that like, okay, like it eases me, it calms me down, it shows me that, look, all right, you're okay now, just you can take things one step at a time. So
I was gonna watch Clue in some capacity.
I might just end up watching Blue's Clues.
You can also do that, a little different concept, but that's fine. But the characters of Clue, we have Professor Plum, Colonel Mustard, Mr. Green, Mrs. White, Mrs. Peacock, and Miss Scarlet.
Carry On Wayward Son as their maybe at some point, but I feel like it would just be maybe at a pay-per-view they would have done it, maybe Full Gear. Well, they did happen at Full Gear, but like they probably would have teased like, oh, we got a new entrance music or something, but like it wouldn't have been as, I think, exciting because this is a return after being gone for so long. I feel like Carry On Wayward Son would either not be here or it would have just come not as like not as excitedly, because you had the excitement of the Elite returning, and then on top of that you had their entrance music. Amazing.
Like it's WrestleMania week, guys. WrestleMania is literally Saturday and Sunday, and Stand and Deliver is on Saturday. But before we talk about those, there are other companies in the world that are doing things. So, for example, Impact and New Japan, they have their pay-per-view Multiverse United. That's tomorrow night at 11 Eastern, let me specify, 11 p.m.
Really?
Eastern. Yeah. Would you like to hear the card? Because I took a picture of it.
Oh!
Tears his quad. Tore it.
I thought it was his knee, and then there's like, oh, it was his quad. I was like, oh.
I mean, like father, like son. If he would have tore both, it would have been hysterical.
Exactly.
I mean, injuries suck, but I would have busted out laughing if it ended up being both. Like Vince back at the Rumble with Cena and Batista. Oh my god. It would have been so funny.
It's so much work, and I think people don't recognize how much it is. Like, I would love to have, a podcast or like a YouTube channel or something, and I'm like, I don't have the capacity to do that. I don't have the knowledge. Like I don't know how to edit shit, and like it takes a lot of, skills and time, and like there's so much that goes into it. So like fucking good for you for doing it for as long as you have, because like I would have probably tapped out after like 2 weeks. That like the first time I'd have to like edit something, I'd be like, oh my god, I don't want to hear myself again. Like, no.
You know,
both call it
whether
quits
it's one or
because
both
Matt
parties.
shouldn't be
Yeah, exactly.
wrestling. Guys, we have to realize at this point now, I don't necessarily think the Hardys should be wrestling anymore. Either of them. Matt can barely walk. Jeff's got issues out the wazoo. I get it, the nostalgia act.
Maybe they.
I really hope this is like both of their retirement runs for their own well-beings and their family's well-beings. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different factions in both WWE and AEW. And what we're going to do is we are going to add a member to each faction. Just one. Just one person we're going to add to every single faction.
You know, all the wrestling marks are commenting and saying, oh my God, watch Tony Khan sign all these guys within 2025. And I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up, please. Just because their contracts are fixed to expire doesn't mean they're going to be gone forever. Do you see 100% of this whole list re-signing with WWE, or do you see at least maybe one or two maybe jump into AEW? Because I had to bring that up, and I forgot to bring that up to Dylan.
It's giving Witch. Which, this might be my favorite thing I've ever done. I have to be able to get the whole fit. I'm not going to be able to. But it's just normal slacks. You'll see pictures. Don't worry. Let's just get into it. Raise your hand if you're surprised WWE is getting sued again. We associate with these characters. So I got a few, classic Star Wars characters. And we're going to figure out what wrestler we think best fits them. It could just be personality. Doesn't have to be looks. Just like traits, attributes, stuff like that.
Yeah.
He did stay for about 98% of us as long as he could. I was one of the last ones he ended up getting to. He also called me beautiful, which just made me so happy. I was in not this AEW shirt. I couldn't get to the AEW shirt I wore, and a beanie. Because it was October. It was a little chilly. I did get a selfie with Cody Rhodes, which was awesome. That was also my Twitter profile picture for the longest time. Collision show that they've been teasing, especially with CM Punk very much probably coming back. And I think with Thunder Rosa and Miro showing back up, and Tony Khan being like, oh, we have so much talent to use, then use them. And not enough, whatever the fuck he was saying in that pre-taped thing. I think this is, we're going to start to see people who are going to be on the Collision show instead of Dynamite. Because when's the last time y'all saw Miro? Oh my god.
How long ago was that? 2 years?
That would have been 2 years because ShElite turns 2 this year.
It is.
Oh, that's another thing. They did announce Collision first episode, United Center.
What?
CM Phil will be back
in Chicago. What?
I know.
Surprised. Nobody, because AEW thinks that Chicago's the only city that exists.
And the space to air out his beef with Goldberg. I don't know how many decades over. I'm just saying.
I can't stand Bill.
Yes, you can.
No,
yes, you can.
no.
Yes, you can. I don't want to bring it up, but let's tell the truth here. Let's tell the truth.
No.
You can very much stand Bill.
No. See, here's the thing.
You don't just stand Bill. I'm just saying.
Pants and always a sports bra or a bra of some type, and then the fishnets over it. I do it for every single game. I shit you not. Every time I can create a character, a female character, of course. When they finally started adding those, I would always do that.
Right.
So I definitely would want something like that, or even just something.
Charlotte did, which was switch, or the tag team. I think they had to do that too. They just switched.
The tag teams did,
wow.
Which
So I'm just glad we avoided that.
Yeah, we avoided that, so we don't have to deal with that. So they each have new shiny belts, and they're very pretty. The white strap and the gold. Rhea's obviously is very... It's basically the same as Seth's new belt, except white strap. And then Asuka's is...
the same as Roman.
Same as Roman's, yeah.
What did Rhea Ripley put on Instagram?
I wasn't going to talk about this because I don't...
You don't want to talk about Rhea Ripley posting a cum tribute on Instagram when you have the #1 wrestling podcast on Pornhub on here?
In my defense, you originally... I didn't know that was going to happen, and B, I didn't know you were going to be here when that happened. Yeah.
But it did happen, so how can we not talk about Rhea Ripley posting a cum tribute on IG, and then Corey shouting it out on Smack?
Wrestling deserved to be showcased on TV, with the Butterfly title, which was associated with, you know, maybe not so much the best of women's wrestling sometimes, as far as like, you know, how women were showcased prior to that. So yeah, just everything that AJ was able to do with that title, and, you know, bringing more eyes to the product. And, you know, I think she was one of the first women in a while to get a t-shirt on WWE Shop. So I think that's awesome, and I had to put AJ at the top of my list. But then my other is, of course, my queen, Trish Stratus.
To find it. So if this
Well,
is a repeat
do it
question,
again. It's our show.
Oh well, I've done a lot of these, and my brain doesn't work. Which I think we have now that I'm remembering it. Money in the Bank season. Our answers could be
Yes,
different.
it is.
Design your dream Money in the Bank briefcase.
Livid. You should go on Twitter. You'll see that he will defend his son to the day he dies. And if that means we get Taz punching Jack, I will be more than happy to pay good money to watch that man.
Oh, it's gonna happen
again. Please.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. We just gotta wait.
Maybe a possibility in London. Boo the people trying to make this about AEW when it has it's no concern, and boo the fact that there's less representation in the media rooms. Thank you for coming to my Hulk Hogan racist Barbie.
God damn it, dude.
Darby, Emo Ken, yes, will count as the past time, even though the future time is where I live. So that's technically 2 podcasts on my birthday. Hey, I'm so excited. I'm very excited. It's a fun week.
Birthday weeks are always the best.
I had 2 days off of work. It's a great week.
Also me, it's like 9 p.m. and I'm just thinking about maybe I should start packing. And then around maybe 10 or 11 p.m. I'm actually packing.
He caught my eye because he can go with the luchadors. He can go with the strong style at the time. And he was really good on the mic. And then what captured me even more is how he reinvents himself each time. Like, he knows how to reinvent himself. And that is a very hard thing to do, especially in wrestling, because things can go stale. But he knows how to just capture the, you know, he can make the corniest thing so over. Like the list thing that he did with WWE was like the corniest thing, but he just had it going so over that people hated when it died down. But that's just really caught my eye for him. And then especially him beating 2 of the biggest baby faces at the time at the same time, The Rock and Stone Cold. That really just like as a kid, I was just going insane. I got in trouble for being loud, but I was just jumping up and down. But yes, I love Chris Jericho.
I'm actually gonna, if I announce it, it becomes real. So this is like this is a lot. But I've started writing kind of like essay style wrestling related content in a Substack newsletter I'm gonna call the Paper Champion. So you can check that out on Substack. I'm hoping it'll be ready for signups by the time this comes out. If not, it's coming soon. And it's not, I was talking to a friend about the format of it, and he was like, oh, cool, features. And I was like, well, it's more just like my feelings about wrestling and wrestlers, because I'm not doing a ton of research. It's just things that I consider like of value. And that's going to be something that I'm hoping to have delivered on a weekly basis.
In the ring, there is a big screen above you, my guy. Look at that. That's basically what I looked at the entire time. And it's irritating. I spent $400 on a ticket, and I barely saw any of the ring, and I barely saw any of the action. Because just people are ridiculous. And towards the end, probably during the main event, there was a guy behind me, a few rows, I don't know how far, who continuously was yelling at people to sit down, as were the workers who were there. Kept yelling at people that were standing on their chairs and standing. They were like, sit down. Like, the amount of times I heard workers say sit down and get off the chairs, astronomical. And people just continuously did it. It's like, do you all not listen? Do you all not understand?
It was pushing to the end of the second hour, you know, and there was still another match. Actually, there was still 2 other matches, I think. The Acclaimed were in action for some reason to get attacked by House of Black, which could have happened on Collision. And then the Young Bucks match, which, I mean, I don't mind that they're in the main event. But what I'm saying is there's some stuff that couldn't have happened or shouldn't have happened or shouldn't have ran as long so the women could have more time. But that's
we'll talk about a certain themed match for the question of the week. Don't you worry. But we will talk about the good that came out of it. Don't worry. He didn't get his passport revoked. AEW is currently not really commenting on it because it's an ongoing legal issue. To my knowledge, and to the knowledge of everyone who's watching All In It, bruv, on Sunday, this match is still happening. Cash will be in London. What happens after that? Who knows?
Myself, I'm pretty sure my dad could have had that moment because Bray Wyatt was one of his favorites in the WWE. He loved Bray Wyatt so much.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just crazy. It still doesn't feel real. It's still again, I really have to sit and think about it for me to really get the feeling shit, you know?
Every ticket has a price. You got movie money on top of vacation and pay-per-view money. I pay $10 a month for the Cinemark Club app, so I get a free ticket every month.
That's
so I use my free ticket. It's actually the best thing I've ever done. And if I go to the movies 25 times this year, then I get upgraded to premium for free.